my fellow gods and goddesses, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today we are doing the mid-book freakout tag. So I have been told that this is a very popular book tag during the first half of the year where we just basically talk about our favorite books of the year so far and like our least favorite and like basically just our reading update halfway of the year. I don't know how to talk. I don't know English. It's fine. I'm not sure who the creator of this tag is, but I will link them down below. Check them out, whoever they are. Thank you for providing this tag, and let's just get right into it. First question just gets right into it, and they asked, what has been your favorite read of the year so far? And I kind of did myself, or really all the books that I read this year, a disservice because I read my favorite book of the year in January, and it's honestly my favorite book of all time now, Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Nobody is surprised, nobody is shocked, everybody knows this is my favorite book of the year and will probably be my favorite book of all time. It's here, it's queer, it's gay, it's Greek, it's great. So the 3 G's, there you go. If you haven't read this already, I don't really know what you're doing with your life, and I don't know why you're torturing yourself by not reading this. You must be a masochist because this is absolutely a beautiful book that is just so descriptive and lyrical and gorgeous, and it is a retelling of the Iliad, but Madeline Miller did the damn thing and she made it gay as it was intended to. This book broke my heart. It gave me a heart. It's so good. It's just so good. There are definitely faults to it. There are definitely things in here that are not the best, but just the feelings that happened when I read this book are indescribable and have never been experienced ever again in my reading so far. So yes, Song of Achilles, Madeline Miller. Love this book so much. So good. The next question is the best sequel you've read so far, and I have only read 2 sequels, I think, 2 or 3, maybe 4 sequels. The best sequel I have read so far is Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. I'm not gonna lie, the first half of this book was definitely slow. I was definitely not having as much feelings as I was with Scythe, but the ending of Thunderhead left me with no air to breathe, no life to live, and no soul to have. After reading this book, I have so many emotions still. Like, I just can't describe how ridiculously awful and amazing this ending was. I just need the toll right now. I just completely shook. I will link my reading vlog where I read the end of this book, and I was just, the wig was not even there. It was never there to begin with. Bald for the rest of my life. Now the next question is a new release that I haven't read yet that I want to read, and this list could be endless. I could just link my most anticipated releases video that I did at the beginning of the year and just say all of them because I really haven't read any of those books, or rarely any of those books. But I'm gonna have 2 listed. I have 2 choices for this question. The first one I have with me right now because my hold finally came in at the library, and that is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. One of the characters is a hunter, and she has to disguise herself as a man in order to go into these forests and hunt for her people and find some treasure or some hidden thing that she discovers. And then the prince is an assassin, I believe, for his father, the king, and he is tasked with finding this hunter and killing her. This cover is so beautiful, and I really hope I love this book. I have heard nothing but great things about this book, so I really anticipate loving it. Second choice is Middle Game by Shannon McGuire. I had this, but I didn't touch it for the entire 20 days I had it because I was so intimidated by it, and I was just not in a place where I could tackle that science-driven book, but middle game follows these two characters named Roger and Dodger, and one of them is ruled by math and then the other one is ruled by words, I believe, and they have become some kind of science experiments where they're not quite gods and they're not quite human. All I really know about it, I don't really want to know anything else. I don't think you should know anything else going into especially a Sean McGuire book, but I again heard nothing but good things. This is Books and Lala's top book of the year so far, and one of her favorite books of all time now, so great praise. I'm really excited to read it. Hopefully I get my ass into gear and actually read it, but we shall see. The next question are the most anticipated releases of the year that haven't come out yet, and luckily I have a whole video for you guys, and I will link that up above so you guys can watch it and see all of my most anticipated releases of the second half of 2019. But I will just plug a book because I'm going to take every opportunity to push this and shove this down your throat, and that is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. I am so excited for this to come out. This comes out August 6th. I will never stop talking about this book, so just add it to your TBRs already because you guys are going to hear it time and time again in multiple videos, and I will never stop talking about it. This is a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling. It is not only a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, but is a horror mystery retelling. It is so creepy. It has hauntings. It's beautiful in its descriptions. Just I can't praise this book enough. I will be doing a judge a book by its cover once the release date comes closer, so keep an eye out for that. I really cannot wait for this to come out so you guys can read it. It is truly amazing. This is my second favorite book of the year. Definitely hands down favorite 2019 release of the year, so add it to your TBRs if you haven't already. It's so good. Now, the biggest disappointment is there could be multiple books that fit this description, but I think I am going to go with And I Darken by Kirsten White. I was very excited for this. If you saw my haul where I actually hauled this, my book outlet haul, I'll link that up above. I was just so excited to read this. The cover is gorgeous. I love historical fiction so much, especially historical fiction fantasy, even though it's not really fantasy, but I just love that genre so much. It's a Vlad the Impaler gender bent retelling. Like, how could this not be good? But it wasn't. I gave this like 2 out of 5 stars. I might have given it 2.5, but it really does not deserve the 2.5. This is so incredibly slow. It's so incredibly hypocritical. Lotta is literally one of my least favorite characters of all time. She is misogynistic. She is just a terrible person, and not in a likable terrible person way. It's just not good. So just don't read it. So yeah, this is definitely my biggest disappointment of the year, just solely based on how much I was excited for it and how much I thought I was going to love it. And if I didn't love it, someone who is a history nerd and also doesn't mind slow books at all, just don't even try it. Now, on the flip side to that, the next question is the biggest surprise, and that one is For Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I take every single opportunity to plug this book. I love this book so much. It is so good. I really was not expecting to love this. One, because the reviews that I saw thus before actually reading this was not all that favorable. They weren't all that great. This was also plugged as sci-fi, and I don't like sci-fi, and I will just tell you guys right now, this is not sci-fi. It does have elements of sci-fi because one of the 4 cities, because if you guys don't know, For Dead Queens is about this country called Kodara, and they are split into 4 different cities, I guess you could call them, and each one of the cities is ruled by one of the 4 queens, and one of the cities has advanced technology, and an aspect of that city is that they have these memory chips that you can ingest and see someone's memories, and that plays a big role in the overall story of this. However, the rest of the story is very period. It's very fantastical. So it's not like you're going into this advanced city sci-fi type setting. Those were some of the elements where I thought I wasn't going to like this, but then I ended up absolutely adoring this book. This is so fast-paced. It is so interesting. Every single one of the characters, we follow multiple perspectives in this book. It's so interesting to see the mystery unfold, and you're trying to play this guessing game, and it's an amazing story. So I highly recommend if you want a standalone fantasy that is just going to just be absolutely amazing. So there you go. The next question is your favorite new author, and this one hands down goes to Casey McQuiston, the author of Red, White, and Royal Blue. I'm sure you guys are going to see this book time and time again all year round, especially in this Myth Freakout tag, because this story is just truly breathtaking, and I really don't need to spend much time on it. You guys know what Red, White, Royal Blue is about. You guys have heard all the praise for it. They are able to do humor in such a millennial fashion that isn't cheesy, it isn't outdone, it isn't cliche. They just encompass the way that we interact with each other and our humor so incredibly well. I am just so excited for their next work. I actually know a bit of a synopsis of their next work because I went to their signing in LA and they kind of talked a bit about it, and it is queer, it is sapphic, it involves time travel, and I'm just going to pre-order the book immediately as soon as it's available, and I'm just so excited to read more of their books. Now, the next question is your new fictional crush, and this hands down goes to Cassius from House of Salt and Sorrows. I know, I just talked about this book, but Cassius, listen, I have not loved a hetero couple in so long as much as I love Cassius and Annalie. They are so good. And Cassius is the most swoon-worthy romantic man that I just love so much. Another reason to pick this up. It's not queer, but I just haven't loved a straight couple this much in so long, and I'm so glad that the straights did it, and I'm glad that they get some representation in my videos. So there you go. The next question is your new favorite character, and again I am going back to Red, Wine, Royal Blue for Alex Claremont Diaz. I'm sure you guys have heard this time and time again, but Alex is literally me. I don't know how Casey took my mind and took my conversations that I have had with my friends. I don't know how they got my text messages. I don't know how they got my receipts, but they did, and they created me as a character in this book. And I am now the first son of the President of the United States, and I don't know how it happened, but it happened, and there you go. Alex and Henry's relationship taught me so much how to deal with my relationship with my partner and how to combat mental illness, for instance, and just opened my heart so much, and it just made me see myself as a character that I've never really experienced before, and it just means a lot to me, and I love them, and I love Alex in particular. The next question is a book that made you cry, and for this I will have two answers that, again, same books I've been talking about, Song of Achilles and Red, Wine, Royal Blue. I am not a crier in books. I don't cry, but apparently the gays make me cry, because Song of Achilles was the only book I've ever cried to until Red, Wine, Royal Blue came along. And honestly, I would say Red, Wine, Royal Blue made me cry even more, because I cried like twice, honestly 3 times. I love the gays so much that they incite emotion into my cold, dead heart. The next question is books that made you happy, and for that I also have 2 answers for it. One is Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. I laughed so much by reading this book. Heretics Anonymous is about this guy named Michael. He is an atheist. He ends up going to Catholic school. He gets involved in this group called Heretics Anonymous, where it's just a bunch of just kids that don't fit the typical norm of Catholicism that is taught at this Catholic school. It really just touches my atheist heart, just the jabs at the Catholic Church, and I just love nothing more than making fun of Catholics, and it's just so good. It's so funny. I just love religion and religious discussions, and like, despite what I say about making jabs at Catholics, this book is actually very much a inclusive read. It doesn't make fun of any other religions or anything. Well, Michael does, because he's an atheist asshole, and that's just how atheists are. We're all assholes. But like, the overall theme of the book is very inclusive, very respectful of other religions. You kind of learn about other religions with the characters, and it's just a really fun time. If you haven't read this yet, I don't know what you're doing. Katie Henry is coming out with a new book this year as well, and I just adore this story so much. And then another book that I am going to include here is Darkwood by Gabby Hutchinson Crouch. This is another book where I'm just going to shove it down your throat until you add it to your TBR. I adore this story so much. This is a Monty Python-esque retelling of a bunch of fairy tales. We follow Hansel from Hansel and Gretel as she is banished to the Darkwood because she is accused of witchcraft, and in the Darkwood she meets a cast of characters, a cast of other fairy tale characters, as they take care of the creatures in the Darkwood, as well as try to protect her village from the huntsmen who hunt witches and rule this society, basically. This is so hilarious. As I said, it kind of has Monty Python-esque humor to it. It's so hilarious. The humor is so dry. It's so funny. It's just absolutely amazing, and it also deals with a lot of feminist themes in a plain way, because it talks a lot about how women who do math and women who are interested in science and innovation and all that stuff are accused of witchcraft, and men are often looked aside for it. So it deals with a lot of that kind of thing. There is little elements of a female-female romance in it, but it is slow burn, so there's nothing confirmed about it, but there you go. It's pretty obvious that there's going to be a female-female romance in it. It's just really good, really fast-paced. Pick it up. It's so good. It's so funny. The next question is your favorite review that you've done, and for this one I'm going to tag my A Curse So Dark and Lonely review. I loved the makeup look I did in it, and I thought I was pretty funny in my review as well. So you're telling me that I'm supposed to fall in love with a character who couldn't swoon 300 women? Expecting me to believe that that man is charming. Clearly not. Does have spoilers, so if you guys haven't read the book, the spoilers aren't that crazy, but you know, just of course prefacing it. My camera is blurry the entire time, so I apologize, but I still like how it came out. I still like that review, so I am going to tag that up above. The next question is the most beautiful book you've read, and honestly this could have a ton of books, but I am going to say Lovely War by Julie Berry. This is a World War I historical fiction narrated by Aphrodite, and you follow 3 romances in this book, and it is absolutely stunning. The conversations about love and finding love and keeping love and restoring love, it's so good. There is an interracial couple in here between a black man and a white woman, so there are a lot of discussions about African Americans in World War, and the author also talks about it in the back a lot, and she discusses a lot of prominent African American men in history in this book, which I thought was extremely important and smart of her to include that. And she also includes little biographies in the back, so I appreciated that. This story is just so beautiful in and of itself. The romances are so cute. It's just such a happy book, and I really love it. I really hope more people read it, because I think it's wholesome. That's it. It's wholesome, and it's lovely, and it's narrated by Aphrodite, and what can you go wrong with that? There's also other mythological gods that come into play in here, and they're absolutely hilarious. Just their discourse is just beautiful. Now, the last question is a book that hasn't come out yet that is on your mandatory TBR. I think we all know my answer to this, and that is Into the Crooked Place by Alexandra Christo. I already mentioned her earlier. No, I didn't. That was in a different video. Into the Crooked Place is a heist style book, very Six of Crows-esque. There's a cast of characters and their criminal antics and their morally gray antics. There's hints at a female-female romance, at least in the first chapter, which I did read and react to in my Into the Crooked Plays video, so go check that out if you want to see that reaction. I love To Kill a Kingdom. You guys know this. I've said it multiple times. Favorite book of 2018. So excited for her next book. If you have an arc of this, I hate you and I despise you and I'm jealous of you, and please give me your thoughts and review. Thank you. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. That is the end of this tag. Let me know down below your answers to this question because I'm really excited to hear your thoughts, or just link your video if you have done this video already. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!